Hey there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I'm working on a one-page layout today. I'm using a sketch, which I'll show in just a minute. But basically, these are the photos. My daughter-in-law, and I went and we got tattoos. And I grabbed some papers and things. And these little things that I'm showing you are actually print and cut designs that I created in Design Space, Cricut Design Space. And I'll talk a little bit about that as I'm going through. So I don't know about you, and I guess you would only need to do this if you have a tattoo or you wanted to do a layout about a tattoo. But there are no scrapbooking embellishments or supplies that would support or embellish that type of subject. And my daughter and I were talking, we were at the expo earlier this month, about how there's not like, I don't want to use the word cool because I'm definitely not cool. Maybe edgy is the right word. So there's really not a lot of edgy embellishments for, edgier type layouts. But anyhow, just if anybody's listening to this and you want to come up with stuff. Now, I had to go do my stuff on Design Space, but I want to talk a little bit about these photos. So first of all, I printed a lot of duplicates, which I didn't realize. A lot of times I'll print photos and then I forget that I printed them already, which is fine. It's no big deal. But you're going to notice, you see how if you look at the photos right here, there's that one that's right in front that my hand was just kind of covering. And then there's those two that are over there off to the side. Now, to get your photos in different sizes, if you don't have any kind of app or something that does it, or you're not printing your own, I get mine printed at Walgreens, and I use the 4x6 collage. And when you do that, if you add 2 photos, you get approximately 3x4 photos. In this case, I probably did cropping, or I probably cropped the photos within my photos before I added them into my Walgreens app. So that's why they're a little bit smaller. But if you add, 2, 3, 4, obviously it'll adjust, but it'll give you different size photos. And I love doing that, especially when I have multiple photos or an event where I took a lot of photos and I want to include them all. A great way to use this idea is if you take photos of your food, things like that. I mean, you don't necessarily need a 4x6 photo of what you had for dinner or your drinks or whatever. But they're also fun to include depending on what you're scrapbooking. So I use that a lot, and I try to use them or print them when Walgreens is having a sale, 50% or more, because they don't count as your 4x6 photos. Because I know, like, if you print 100 photos, you get they're 12 cents each, which is a great deal. But these won't be considered 4x6 photos. They're considered collage photos. So anyhow, look for that. That's a fun way to incorporate different size photos without having to crop down too much. So back to the layout. I basically just use that gray as a base because I have a lot of that gray. So I wasn't too concerned about covering the whole thing. I really love this blotchy looking purple. And I did want to highlight the layout in purple because my tattoo had a purple gemstone or a purple gemstone image. But anyhow, so if you notice, there was that one little notch that was missing, probably cut out one of those bottle caps. But I just used the strips here to cover it. Look at, you would not even know that. And these are things that you have to think of. Just because you don't have a solid piece, you can still use them, especially when you can cover them somehow with other embellishments. So that's just a little tip there. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the print and cut that I did. Again, I looked in Design Space at Cricut Design Space, and I looked up the word tattoo. There weren't a lot. There were more images of tattoos versus like the ink gun or things like that. So then I looked up the word ink, and I got a lot more, which was weird to me. I thought it would be the opposite, but I adore those ink splotchy blobs that I have 2 of them, and I'm going to kind of lose one of them and then I find it because, everything's piled on top of each other. But I love the word, pretty in ink or got ink, things like that. So I looked up what I could, whatever I liked, and then I got the hexagon shape from Basic Shapes, and then I sized the images to fit inside the hexagon, and then I did a black offset. And then that's, once I gathered all that, did all that, I grouped, each individual hexagon and then flattened it. And that's how you print and cut. So you print it on your printer, and then it cuts around the shape. on your Cricut machine. So that's basically how I did that. But I love these. Now, I probably could have gone a little deeper on this, but I didn't need to do much more than this. I love the hexagon shape. I think it's perfect for this layout because, again, my first instinct was to put them in circles. Not that there's anything wrong with circles. I love circles. But I think the hexagons just give it another edgy, I guess I'm going to continue to use that word, look. So I'm so glad I did that. The butterfly tattoo, or excuse me, sticker, that's actually the name of the shop that we got our tattoos done at, and they gave away those stickers when we were there. So I'm going to use that as one of the embellishments, of course. And originally I have it up here on that top left corner of the photo. I'm going to move it later, and I'm going to move it by the Pretty in Ink, which is the title, and I'm going to incorporate it with that, which I did do in the first place. I don't know if you noticed that. And then I moved it. God, excuse me. I hope you like this video so far, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Leave any comments or questions you have regarding the print and cut or just making your own embellishments in general. I would love to read them, and I definitely do respond to any comments that are left. I appreciate that. And if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button. I post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever I'm creating in the command center, which is the name of my craft room and also my blog. And that can be anything from other types of paper projects to things with my Cricut, as far as, like, let's say using HTV or making stickers. I also do a lot of painting, junk journaling, you name it, but I have a playlist for it. So if you're only interested in one thing and not the other, just check out the playlist that you're interested in. Again, I would appreciate a subscribe if that's something you're interested in. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. And I'm glad you're enjoying enough to continue to watch my videos. So this is what I was talking about. I really wanted that to be part of the title. And if I would have thought about it, I probably could have trimmed some of that white so I could really see it a lot better. But it still looks really good there because it flows with the title. And it's a perfect embellishment or accent to the page. I do go ahead and use some of that glue in those other little tinier places because I just couldn't get there with my ATG. But again, I hope you do like this video. I did want to concentrate on the purple because I don't know if you can see, and you will be able to see it later in the close-ups, there's a gem in the middle of the Batman logo, and it looks so realistic. It's absolutely nuts to me that the level of talent that these tattoo artists have. It's so amazing. I've never really been like a big tattoo person. These are the only tattoos that I have. If you know me, you know the reason. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I mean, I love the art of it. People are so talented. It's so amazing. But I just, for my own self, have just never felt the urge to have one. But, as you can see from just my arm as I'm working on this page, I do have this bracelet on my left wrist. And it's just, I love it to death. It's so personalized. It's just so great. But anyhow, I hope you do like this video. Again, stick around for all these close-ups, which you can see here. And look at how fun. I just love these embellishments. They're so fun. And it wasn't really a whole lot of work to do them. And that's what makes it even more fun, I think. And then those are pictures of my daughter and my daughter-in-law's tattoos that they got because, I can't just go by myself. I got to bring my little entourage. And that is something we like to do. I mean, not just getting tattoos, but if we decide we want to try something new, we take all 3 of us and girls stay, right? All right. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.